What's up? What's up, my beautiful people? Merry Christmas to everybody. It's good to see. You got some people in here in the waiting room already. That's kind of cool. Let me go grab this remote real quick. Just in case some advertisements pop up, I might have to, because we know they have advertisements here on YouTube. Merry Christmas to everybody. It's good to see all of my people in the room. Get us feed a like, thumbs up. And for today's session, I'm going to do something different, way different than I've ever done. This is going to be just a giveaway. I'm going to, of course, talk about, some of my favorite Christmas memories. You guys can share yours with me too. I want to also give away. Okay, so I got my email on here. Let me change that real quick, all right? Because I want you guys to email me your Cash App, and I'm going to send you guys, randomly send you guys some money, all right? It's not going to be a whole lot because I ain't rich, but so in addition to giving away 3 free coaching sessions, I'm also going to be giving away some cash because 'tis the season, right? Why not? I got to redeem myself for last night. I sang on Instagram and kind of made a fool out of myself. But it is what it is. Still gonna be me. But anyway, happy holidays. I hope everyone is doing well. I know some people struggling right now with COVID. Sucks. And probably shouldn't have said COVID, but anyway, I'm saying COVID because it is what it is. Hey, Simone, Glenn, Merry Christmas to you, buddy. So I'm going to be checking my email randomly. Email me your Cash App, and I'm going to be sending out some random donations because everyone can use a little bit of money around this time of the year for sure. So I want y'all to comment in the chat. What is your favorite Christmas movie? Now we go against the norm. I want to see if people are actually buying into the stuff that they push on NBC and ABC all the time. What's your favorite? I know, right? That's a bad word. It's a swear word. My bad. Gonna get flagged, but what else should you call it? You should call it Divock. Let's call it Divock. I'm gonna reverse it. Yeah, because the Divock is going around. But yeah, send me your Cash App. You have my email. It's right here in the chat. Let me know what it is, and I'm going to be blessing you guys today. Because why not? I did Christmas with my kids this morning. They're going over to mom. So I had some time to say, who wants to be alone on Christmas and, have to sit and watch these reruns all day long. I figured I'd much rather sit here and be with you guys in camaraderie instead of sitting and just watching stuff over and over again. And I enjoy the community too. So if you guys are interested in a free coaching session, go ahead and put a 1 in the chat. If you're interested, put a 1. If you're not interested, 2. If you're interested in Cash App money, put a 3. And share the feed. Share the feed so this can get pushed out there to more people. Also, I am, it's been a crazy blessed year for me. I just reached over 1,000 on Facebook, 1,000 followers on Facebook, which is nuts. I mean, it took me so long to I've had that thing for the page for a while. And over the past month, it just went through the roof. So Merry Christmas, Bree. Don't forget, if you're interested in a free coaching session, put that 1 in the chat. I see you, Simone. Hold on, man. I got to grab a pen and paper. What a novice move that was. I'm not even prepared to get you guys down on paper. All right, so Simone with the one in the chat. All right, if you're interested, put a one in the chat, put a one in the chat, put a one in the chat. Now we got people joining us over there on Facebook too. So if you guys are on Facebook, kick over to YouTube. Help me boost my analytics. That link, it should be, I don't know, I think I put it on Instagram. Or you can just go on my YouTube, go on YouTube, search Coach Court. You should be able to find me over here. Thanks, bro. Yes, it's nuts. It's been such a growth promoting year. It's not even funny. I don't think you guys realize that even coaches go through things, right? This has been such a transitional year for me. It's been rough. Can y'all hear me? Got the new mic. It's been rough, but I still been trying to coach my way out of it. It's out of the darkness. You coach your way out of the darkness. It's insane. I'm blessed to have all you guys around here. That's what I'm grateful for. If I was to have to talk about, if somebody was to ask me, what is it that you're grateful for? I would say you guys. Every one of you guys. You guys growing this channel, helping support me. Like, we support each other. I feel like it's a real community. I look forward to talking to you guys. I look forward to coaching every person that I coach. You know, over, like I just posted about that, over 100 countries, man. It's crazy. Like, I'm so blessed to have this platform and to use it for what I perceive as good, what I perceive as growth, and, you know, coaching people out of the dark. You know, I'm just humbled to have this. Merry Christmas. Thank you for all your videos. Rafa, I think that's how you say your name. You're welcome, brother. Helping me handle my problems. That's what I'm here for. Let me know if you guys can hear me well. This mic is new, so let's just hope I'm not talking down a hallway. Jack Frost and the Grinch movies. Yeah, the Grinch is pretty funny. No hoovering yet, but it'll come when the Packer game starts. Who's hoovering? Oh man, we don't want hoovering. That's annoying. That really blocks your growth. When you're trying to heal and you're trying to move forward and they come back and they hoover on you. Oh man, it just it's the worst. Merry Christmas, Paris. Yes, we can hear you fine. All right, Bree. Boom. Random question, Coach, but will our exes be thinking about us at Christmas? Yeah. I mean, you got to understand, just because someone, Enemy of the State, favorite Christmas movie. No, that's funny. You guys have to understand that just because you guys are broken up, that doesn't mean that they don't think about you. Think about it. You're human. Unless you're like fell and bumped your head, then you remember that person. You remember the memories. But that doesn't necessarily mean that they want to make more memories or new memories with you. So yeah, they think about you. All right, put yourself. This is how I get my insight. I always try to look from their point of view or put myself in their shoes. And if you think about it, you know, like I said, unless they got amnesia or they fell and hit their head on the curb or something, they remember you. They remember the memories. If you were good to them, if it was a good relationship, then they remember you. And chances are they're going to be comparing you during this holiday season too. It's just how it works. And it's just weird how so many people think that the grass is going to be greener, but when they get there, they peek back like, that was pretty good. I mean, not everyone's built the same. Not everyone operates the same. Not everyone, you know, does the same different holiday rituals. Because I think about all the little things that are different from culture to culture, from person to person, family to family. Like Elf on a Shelf, you know, Hanukkah, all those different things it's just different. And that doesn't make it good or bad. It's just different. So if you were someone that remembered a lot of things that they liked about you, about, you know, if you were mindful about that person, let's say that they mentioned something two months ago about a certain pair of shoes or something that they felt annoying around the house and you wanted to help make their life convenient. You know, they'll remember that you'd remember that last Christmas when you wrote down and you were very mindful about that Christmas gift that they didn't think they were going to receive, but they ended up giving it. For me, you know, I was raised that way to be just kind of keep my little spy ears up around the holidays. You know, if you go to the store or something, you hear them say, "Oh, that's cute." Like, take a little mental note. You know, and then this next person that they're with may not be the same. You know, they may not be as mindful as you. They may not be as thoughtful and as mindful and as intuitive and emotionally intelligent as you are. So if you were that person, yeah. But if you were someone that was narcissistic and selfish and abusive, then they'll be thinking about you in not a good light. You know, I don't think my ex remembers me, to be honest. She moved on very fast with the other guy when we broke up with me 10 months ago. So I was coaching a guy, you know, same deal. He was very confused, and the girl cut him off really quickly and moved on to the next guy really, really fast. And he was wondering, how in the world could she do that? And I can tell you though, usually from everything that I've studied, all the people that I've studied, all the people that I've coached, you know, I studied therapists, I studied counselors, I studied coaches, I studied a lot of different people. And that's usually a sign of that lack of empathy for people. They're very self-fulfilling. They're very not mindful about your experience. And I'm going to go ahead and say it. That's usually a sign of someone who's narcissistic. Why do I say that? Because they can't sit with you in your experience. They don't understand it. For example, if you were crying, this is for, you know, if you're thinking about women and narcissistic men, I'm just going to use that lens right now. Men that was narcissistic, women that were not, they were empathic. Let's say that they're crying and they're on the floor. A narcissistic person will be more like, come on, like, get up. Can you leave? Can you stop? This is very childish. But for a person that's empathetic, they'll, babe, come on, get up. Let's not do that. Come sit down, calm yourself down. They can't sit with your experience. They don't understand your pain. They can mirror it. They can kind of, you know, project what they think they feel, you feel, but it's usually an act. It's not real. They can't sit with it. It's not something that they can recreate. I don't know what it is, why their brain works that way, but it just is what it is. I don't think my ex remember me. All right, go down so I can keep up. My ex texted me today saying he's reading on the back porch and he remembers how much he loved my presence when he would do that. There it is, Simone. See? They do remember you. Like I said, unless they had like a stroke and it, Lord forbid they don't, and they end up, you know, not having a good memory after that, of course they remembered you. She's reached out Thanksgiving to say she got dumped. Then a week later, he took her back. Then you always think that you're a backup plan. Yeah, you don't want to be a backup plan at all. That's not a good place to be, especially for a man, because, you know, attraction can't be negotiated. You know, I'm not going to be your second fiddle or your backup plan. That's not a way to be thinking. Make sure you hit that like button. Yes, sir. Black Books. She said that she was ashamed of me when I supported her in her bad moments. When things went well for her, she dumped me after 2 years. Your videos really helped me to control my anxiety. I appreciate that, man. That's what I have it here for. Okay, so if you guys are emailing me, don't forget, I'm trying to hit you guys up with some Cash App money. I don't know if you can see this over on Facebook, but over here on YouTube, I have where you email me your Cash App and I'll send you some money. Or you can go ahead and jump in on, wait a minute, I'm on my own live session right now. Or you can put yourself in a bucket for a free coaching session. If that's worth something to you, you know, it's here for you. I'm only giving away 3 of them. I got to be smart about this. Got to be. If you're over here on YouTube, though, make sure that you like this, though. Get it out there. Let people know that, hey, Coach Curtis don't have a whole lot of family around. So you guys are my family today. All right. Speaking of family, what is one thing that you guys like to eat the most on Christmas? What is it that your mom make or your grandmother make or even your dad? In my family, we got a lot of chefs, a lot of guys that are really good at cooking. What's your favorite dish? Someone already talked about their favorite movie. I talked about mine. If I'm being honest, my guilty pleasure, right? My movie that I absolutely love, only because when I was young, me and my mom would watch it every single year. And I would have to say probably Chevy Chase, Christmas Vacation, or It's a Wonderful Life. Something about It's a Wonderful Life just hits me right here because I feel like I resonate a lot with his experience. I've given so much of myself throughout my life. I've given so much free stuff, so much time. I've put myself last so many times that, sometimes I feel like, all right, when is my ship going to come in? And that's one thing that I wanted to do too. I wanted to explore. I wanted to travel. I wanted to see the world, but I ended up having a family. And if you guys have kids, you know that your kids will anchor you quicker than anything in the world. So what's a great book for an FA male? Come Here, Go Away. Let me look up the author. I don't know if you know that book or not. Are you going to get it for him for Christmas? Let me look up the author. Doing that now. It's by Ralph Earl Jr. Come Here, Go Away. I've read it once, and I've had clients that read it too that likes that book a lot. So maybe that's a good one for him. Everyone's different. Some people don't like the book that I recommend, Homecoming. They don't feel it resonates with them, and that's okay. But for me, how do we get in a bucket? You're not seeing the girls today? Yeah, I had them this morning. They're just at their mom's house for a couple hours. And I'm going to be getting them back later. But my YouTube and Facebook family, I had to join today just to check in on you guys. I hope COVID isn't, putting a damper on your guys' plan. I seen on my Instagram that a lot of people are being affected by COVID. I was actually supposed to be in Texas right now, but couldn't do it because of COVID. It sucks too. Really sucks. I mean, we had the tickets bought and everything. My kids were really disappointed because they haven't seen their Opa and Oma in a really long time, probably 6 or 7 years. So I guess you guys don't want money, huh? This isn't a scam either, or this isn't spam. I know how people be scamming people's cash apps and stuff. I ain't on that. I'm just trying to help you guys out. Help put a little bit of change back into your pocket after the holidays. Or maybe it's going to spam box. Let's see. Yeah, it's insane. Well, I don't know if you guys remember, but I'm not even gonna talk about that. But just know my grandmother was affected by it, and the rest is history. The dominoes fell the way that they did. It's my daughter's first Christmas. My ex and I broke up on November 1st. He's now in a rebound relationship. He hasn't called, text, sent the Xmas gift. Never thought my daughter would be abandoned by her father. Many women that I coach and that I know, they never expect to be in the shoes that they're in, after they have that kid. There are a lot of guys out there that would just go around having kids and moving on to the next one. It's insane. Like, honestly, I wonder sometimes, I'm a 50% dad and I can't not be that. Like, I have to be. I love my kids to death. I couldn't imagine not seeing my kids very often or being able to, just being in their presence, because I'm a huge believer that the masculine and the feminine energy is very important in the household. If you don't have that balance, you're going to end up with a lot of confused kids, a lot of kids that don't understand what healthy looks like. Many of these issues that people have, whether it be trauma or it's attachment style, which is usually that, it goes all the way back to history, to how they were raised, the things that they experienced as a kid. What's your stance on them watching you on Instagram? I was set on public and kept watching my stories. Well, I usually tell people not to block and not to, cut it off with that person because it kind of makes you look unstable. But if you do it, the reason that I tell people to do it is if it's going to prevent you from healing. If you don't want to go back and you're not going back and you need to heal and move on from that person, you're going to keep getting triggered every time that you see them watch your stories. So if that's something that you need to do, or just put it on private, that may be better. You don't have to block them, but if you put it on private, it will help you out. I just posted about that. Said stop checking your ex's social media. And if you go the opposite direction, stop letting your ex check your social media. Because it does the same thing, essentially. It's something about that release of oxytocin when you see that little avatar pop up. You're like, oh my God. I wonder if she misses me. I wonder if he misses me. I wonder what he's watching me for. All right, I got one on here. I would tell you how to put your Cash App in the chat, but there's too many scammers out there and I ain't with it. Too many. But I just got your email. Merry Christmas. Love you. They don't want that paper. Yeah, I guess not. I guess we don't like that paper over here in America. I'm not talking to my parents. I'm doing Uber Eats deliveries right now. That's a bummer. All right, Heather. How do you quit looking at someone for who you thought they were and how they were with you? Start seeing them for who they truly are. My brother was dying this year and I was taking care of him. He only lived 6 months. My brother's friend and I started a relationship that time and ended up finding out he wanted my brother's house. It's hard to wrap my head around the fact someone could do that. Yeah, that's very malicious. And you know what? You just have to every experience that you go through in life it's happening for you. It's not happening to you. So what is it that you need to do next time to prevent yourself from getting in a situation? Like, how do you take preemptive action next time? Sometimes, every time you have someone new come in your life, or every experience you have, it's to make you a better person. It's to help you grow, to show you what your blind spot is, what your weakness is. Or one of the coaches I listened to said, you need to fill in your knowledge gap. What is your knowledge gap? How can you show up better next time? And be a little bit more cautious about that. So try to find a meaning in everything. Try to figure out what is it how you can spin this, because it's going to come back around on him. I'm a firm believer. You guys watch my videos. I'm all about karma. It's going to come back around. Always. The score always gets settled. So take this experience as something that you can learn from. And I know when you got a brother that's grieving, it's hard to just see it that simplistically. But if you can shift that mindset, that paradigm in thinking, and head that direction, that balance in the household is crucial. Absolutely. Not blocked, but just set on private. If she wants to follow me, she can. Yeah, go ahead and put it on private. It can be temporary. It doesn't have to be something that's going to be for the rest of your life. You know what I mean? My ex just wished me a Merry Christmas. Thank you for your videos. I understand the DAs. You're welcome, Gina. I just saw the new Matrix movie yesterday. I just fell asleep on a new Matrix movie yesterday. I know. I tried. I made it about an hour and 15 minutes in, and I was like, yeah. Then my cousin called and woke me up. Like, man, let me tell you something about that movie. I may try it again. I didn't give it a fair chance, but I may try it again. How does someone tell you that they love you or thinking about the future with you? Have hope for us. Talks about renting an apartment together, and all within the same month block you. They call those avoidance. Now, here's the thing about them. They crave it. They want it. Everyone needs connection. But it's like when they get it, it's just so scary for them. It's like clipping a bird's wing. You know, they don't want to be grounded. And it's not right. I mean, I'm not saying that what they're doing is something that's is a healthy thing to do. It's because it's definitely not healthy. But it's just how they operate. And unless they are doing the work, like I talk about, if they're doing the work, then you may have a chance. But for sometimes, people generally don't change. It's hard. Like their core was set well before you met them. And if you've been with that person for a while, the longer you allow them to do certain things and show up a certain way, they're just going to, like Maya Angelou says, when people show you who they are, you got to believe them. So if because I see it all the time where people are saying that, I'm not interested in being in a serious relationship, or I don't want this, or I want that. And then people stick around and say, oh, I'm going to love them out of that. I'm going to give them everything they want. They're going to see, oh, I think I should settle down with this person. I was on a call with a client and I was telling her the same thing. How they get you is in the beginning. If we're talking more narcissistic people, because they the ones that usually end up like going on to the next one really quickly, or they have no empathy. That's how they get you. They'll tell you their stories in the beginning. They'll tell you about, I was abandoned when I was a kid, or I had this going on. And you're like, yeah, I want to be your savior. I'm going to show you that all men aren't like that, or all women aren't like that. So I'm going to give you the best experience you ever had. So when things start to fall apart and they start to show their worst side, you're still so hooked on that promise that you gave them in the beginning. You say, well, I can't abandon them now. They already had that happen to them before. Or I know that they had this type of upbringing. They had X, Y, Z happen to them. So I can't be that next person that comes along and abandon them. But sometimes, and when I say sometimes, I mean all the time, you have to put your mental health first. You have to put your personal development and your boundaries and communicate your needs first. Because otherwise they'll just step over it. They'll, you draw your line in the sand and they'll kind of shoe it with their foot, draw another line for you. And next thing you know, you've given up every single thing that you stood for, your standards, your boundaries, and it's a wrap. How does someone say that they love? All right, next, I had to block all, even with when I still love her, because I needed to take distance. I can't read that, fella. The universe keeps the score. Already know. Nice. Another email. All right, Simone, I guess you got the first coaching session too. You got the Cash App and you got the coaching session. We can set up an appointment for next week, actually, so we can get it done before the new year. I got your information, so I'll get in contact with you. If you are interested in the free coaching session, put a 1 in the chat. Yes, my biological father is a narcissist. And you understood that. It's cool though. One thing about this channel is how much people help me out too. You guys help me fill in my knowledge gap. Every time I coach someone, I'm always looking about what can I learn from this person? I can help them get to where they need to be, but what is it that I can learn from them? How can they make me a better coach? And I take pride in being able to, sit back and just listen and just understand where you're at and where, what makes you tick. So I can get you the best advice that I can get you. Got to get going. Paris, love you. Have a good day. Will a dismissive who reaches out to their ex again multiple times eventually ask to meet up? Depends on the degree of their dismissiveness. should I wait to suggest this? I mean, because usually you have to like take it slow with them. It's stages for them, especially if you guys were already in a relationship and you broke up. For them to build up that trust again, it takes a little bit of time. It takes some stages where you text ever so often. Then you may suggest a phone call, then you suggest a FaceTime or something, and then meeting up. But it sucks because right now, with COVID and things being, said it again, it's just so natural. When that shuts down everything that you can be doing in person, and it's hard to really build that connection again. Exactly. And I feel like those type of people run on cycles. They do run on cycles. There's 3 of them. Even with their divorce, past relationships, etc., she started doing these cycles with exes and me. And that is where, I always bring that accountability back to yourself, because you didn't pay attention to the warning signs. You might have got caught up in her beauty, in her charisma. There's something about women that their voice can hit this certain pitch that just makes you feel so good inside. But at the same time, you need to be paying attention to the history and the patterns, because the patterns are always going to lead you to what the future is going to look like. I wrote a quote one time that says, pay attention to how a person treats their ex, because they'll treat you like that when you're their next. Pay attention to it. You got to. Because if you don't, don't be looking at Coach Court like, I don't know what happened. Like, well, you missed something, or you purposely turned a blind eye because you wanted this person. And honestly, if I'm being 100% honest, if I'm gonna keep it like they say here in Milwaukee, if I'm gonna keep it a buck, you knew what was up. You knew that you shouldn't have stuck with this person. And what men do is we're lazy. We don't want to go out and date a whole lot. Like we fall complacent, which is why a lot of women leave us. We get complacent, we get comfortable. We feel like, this person is like family to me. She's not going anywhere. And then they end up going somewhere. All right, so I got you Inu and Z. Z, you've been around for a while, man. I'm gonna get you that coaching session. Send me an email, Z. You got the next one, brother. Yeah, we fall complacent and we're lazy. We don't want to go out and do dating. Like it's trash. Especially when you're going into the cold season like now, you want to get caked up. You don't feel like doing all that. So we'd rather stay with that person and put up with a lot of their nonsense and think that we can fix them, but it doesn't work. Love can't heal people. Only therapy and counseling can do that. Even it may not even work then. So it's hard for me to think about the person that I love might be a narcissist. It was so cold, the form that all finished and moved on with the other guy. One of the biggest decisions that you can ever make is who you're going to spend your life with. Legit. We spend more time trying to figure out what color wall we're going to paint and looking at canned paint at Menards or Home Depot than we do with the person that we're going to spend our life with, when they're going to be the one that either causes the greatest pain or the greatest pleasure. Think about that for a minute. And it's hard when you get betrayed like that, because you feel like you knew that person so well. You knew their favorite food. You knew the movies that they loved. You knew their childhood, their upbringing. You knew their temperament. You knew everything about them. So when they move on and the idea of them being with someone else, it is devastating. Like, for real. Because you feel, I haven't changed. But this person is a straight up stranger. In the manosphere, they got a term for that. Black Book Basics know the term. Hey, if you guys aren't following Black Book Basics, go check them out. Like, immediately. Go over there. 2 of the coolest dudes in the world. And we've been rapping. We've just been talking. So they good people. Go and check them out. Black Book Basics. They right here. Hold on. I'm going to throw you up on the screen. Got that right. I stay learning in the sessions. I'm learning from you right now. See what I mean? Go check them out. Go subscribe to the channel. Triple B's all day. They funny with them acronyms too. Y'all hilarious. You don't think I'd be picking up on that? You know, like to set the dates. You know what I'm talking about. Y'all ain't slick. I know what y'all be doing. Self-conscious improvement is the right path. It's just making sure one is on the path. You have to understand that you're on this journey by yourself. Literally, where we're born alone, we're going to go to the grave alone. And anyone that joins that journey throughout your path, or joins your path throughout that journey, I learned this a long time ago. Friends are some of the most temporary people you'll ever have in your life. Think about that. It's very rare for you to have a friend from elementary school all the way to death, or from even middle school or high school. I want you guys to self-reflect with me right now. All right, let's do this right now. Right, for saying the C word. I want y'all to self-reflect right now. Think about your best friend from elementary school. Think about them. And think about, how that changed when you got to middle school, and when that changed when you went to high school. You may formed a new friend circle. You may have had a whole different set of people that you hung out with because of sports or whatever, life events. You guys growing in different directions. And then think about when you went off to college and your college roommate, you're probably not best friends anymore. People will come and go out of your life. They're there for reasons, for seasons. There's always reasons too. You can learn a lot from them. Actually, it's difficult to tell if someone is a narc and avoidant or just simply lost attraction. So that is it. That's where I come into the picture, because I can help people analyze that, help them understand the difference. There's little nuances. There's nuances between, because a woman that's lost attraction to you can look a lot like an avoidant. Because what happens is women, they typically fall out of love with you well before they break it off. They'll be contemplating that breakup. They'll be grieving it. They'll be doing things that look like grief. They'll be eating more ice cream. They'll be watching more shows. They'll be taking more hikes. They'll be hanging out with their friends more. And that was their way of grieving while they were with you. And then when they brought the breakup to you, they had nothing left. It was it. Like, it was indifferent. So that's why I say it's important to know what a person's history is and to understand, what they were exposed to, what healthy looked like to them. It's not just, that simple. It's not just, I really try to refrain from putting people in a box too quickly. That's why I have the sessions, because we can go literally, I change my theories all throughout the sessions. By the end, I kind of like figure out what the best one is, what the best conclusion is, what was the most likelihood of them being XYZ. Triple B's, they are good people, Coach Court. Been watching them for 18 months and no contact. Jackson, you put a 1 in the chat too, didn't you? Set the date. Yeah, they funny. Ponies, they think they slick. That's a way not to get flagged, but it's funny. Murphy and them. They're good people. Opus make me laugh when I'm on my jog. Yeah, they be having me rolling. Yes, I'm making more new friends now as an adult, and even some of them cut me off. I have 2 middle school friends. Wow, that's kind of cool. Yeah, if they survive from middle school with you, then they rocking with you for real. Let me get y'all off my screen, man. My bad, I had y'all up there for a minute. We got to get that email back up there. Email that for Cash App money. Yo, I really can't sing. Like, my ego is kind of bruised. And I had a little bit of eggnog in me, and I was singing, but I'm kind of good. My daughters don't like me singing. No more emails. Well, they don't want the debt. They don't want the money. It is what it is. Well, I'm glad you guys can get your free coaching session. Simone, you got one. Z, don't forget to email me, brother. I got you. And Jackson's new. You a subscriber, Jackson? Don't lie to me either. Be straight up. Keep it a buck. Don't lie to me. If you are, then you might be in the running, my friend. You ain't got no pipes. You trying to gas me up. What? I mean, I can carry a tune. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, if I'm... Yeah, Jackson. Yeah, you in the runnings. Don't be calling me out like that, bro. No, I'm kidding. Ain't nobody gonna watch this live anyway. I don't have all the subscribers like you guys. Y'all are doing y'all thing. Rightfully so. Y'all put out great content. Black Book Basics, triple B's, everybody. Any more questions? I've given out 2 sessions. I still have more money to give out. But if you guys don't want to email me, it is what it is. DT will love a session. DT, I love to coach you. Send me an email. Hopefully it's not going to spam. I was having some email troubles maybe like 6 months ago where I wasn't getting a single email. I was actually thinking about switching service because of it. And it's frustrating. When you do it all by yourself and you're the jack of all trades, you have to be the jack of all trades, like YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, email, web design, graphic design, editing. You know, Black Book, y'all know it's tough. It's a lot. It's a lot of hats to wear. Patreon, which I'm trying to really get that taken off, but it's a lot of work. But I feel like this is what God called me to do. He said, you know what? You need to cut it out. Do what you got to do. You've been running from me and what I've been telling you to do for a long time. So you need to cut it out and do what I command you to do. Fine. Got another email. Keeping the faith. I got you. See, some people listening. I'm sending it over to you right now. Like I said, it ain't finna be a whole lot, but you can at least have a meal on me. Happy holidays. Happy holidays sounds so, it doesn't sound genuine, right? It sounds very politically correct. Merry Christmas is what I really want to say. All right, now y'all stepping it up. Appreciate it. Diego, I see you. Should I have said your name? I see you. Merry Christmas. Yeah, I'll get that to you later. I'll get you set up with the session time. Z, I'll get you set up with the session time too. Is there a little bit of a delay? I can't really tell sometimes when it's a delay on the chat. You wear all the hats. Bro, I gotta have all the hats because my head isn't as attractive as y'all. Y'all got some. That didn't even sound right. Can we take that back? Can we go back? Can we reverse this? What's the was that in game? One of those stones. Can we just take that Doctor Strange it and go back in time a little bit? Anyway, what I was saying was, it's cold here, and I gotta wear a lot of different hats. Literally, I gotta wear a lot of hats. I've been following you for months. Jackson, appreciate that. You're welcome, Gina. Big heads. Sometimes you just let them go and find something better than a toxic person, even if you do. You know, usually what happens is they leave you for someone that you consider not the same as you, or not up to stand. I was talking to coaching a guy a couple days ago, and he was saying, man, she left me for this dude, like this guy that's blah blah blah. I'm like, that's usually how it happens. But I try to get away from the judgment, but it's so tough. Yeah, and it's just the ego taking over, your ego, taking the driver's seat. And what Wayne Dyer says, you want to be careful about letting your ego get in the way. Because when you let ego take over, you're edging God out. That's his acronym. You edge God out when you let ego get in the way. So you let go and you let God, let him take the wheel. Jesus, take the wheel. People also have to realize it's more about healing than getting back with an ex. I think those things have to work in tandem, because you won't get your ex back until you finally let them completely go, and you let go the need for a certain outcome. Because if you're fixated on getting that person back, fixated on getting them to do what you want to do, and you win, honestly, when you do get people back in that condition, when you're trying to get them back and you get them back, you're going to actually not be as excited about getting them back. Most of the time you're like, well, maybe this wasn't even meant to be. Because especially if you've healed yourself, then you're not even going to be attracted to that type of energy anymore. You're going to get them back just for the sake of getting them back, just for the sake of letting your ego, get inflated a little bit. Most of the time when people are getting broken up with, I asked them, I said, how healthy was this relationship? Let me ask you that. How healthy was this relationship? And most of the time they say, I was actually thinking about breaking up with them first. It's just that they kind of beat me to the punch and my ego is hurting and I can't deal. Like, well, they may have done you a favor. Have a Merry Christmas spending time with us today. God bless you, Jackson. I'm hoping on to take the step to say, I don't want this. I deserve more, but it's hard. I'm not good on letting go. We get used to the familiarity is what we really struggle with. You want that person around, you want that companionship. And when it's gone, we don't like change. Overall, as humans, change is uncomfortable. Unless you're someone who can't sit still. If you got happy feet, maybe not. But for the people who like change, you like consistency, you like commitment, you value commitment. When that's gone, if you were to lose your job today and they were to say, all right, you have to pick a whole new career path, it'll be tough. You wouldn't be able to do it. You'll be thinking, what? I don't even know what else I'm good at. Just like when that person leaves you, you're going to be thinking, I don't even know what's my type really. That's why usually when they go into rebounds, the person either looks exactly like you or they look exactly opposite. It's very rare that I've seen people move on where it was just like, oh, all right, well, that looks normal, especially when it's a rebound. I'm thinking I was the rebound. Very possible. I was coaching another guy the other day and he didn't want to accept it. I say, let me ask you something. How quickly did you get with this person? Within a couple months. How long were they with that person? 8 years. Okay. Do you really think they healed from that person after 8 years? This should be a resounding no. They hadn't taken the time to heal. Retracting and healing are a package deal. Absolutely. 100%. Been watching you for a while. As we all have learned a lot from your channel. Once again, thank you for the blessing with the cash out. You're welcome. Keep your faith. Got another cash app. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. Mine wasn't very healthy. I thought on breakup months before, but decided to try it more. I know what I'm talking about. Thinking it was a bad moment because of virus and all of this, you're right. I know what I'm talking about. It usually works out that way, where there was something off about it. You didn't feel quite comfortable, but then, like I said, men, if you're a man, you're just going to further reaffirm what I said. We're lazy. We don't want to move on that quickly. We don't want to. This is why a lot of breakups are initiated by women, because men will stick around for a really long time until they finally get broken up with, and they become complacent. They become not happy. They stop dating her. They stop doing any of the things that they were doing before, because deep down they weren't very happy. It's only when they get left and the woman has fell in love with someone else, that's when they start to panic and say, I need them back. Like, do you really want them back? Is the real question. Or is it your ego saying, hey, yeah, what's the movie? Shazam. The movie Shazam, with the 7 deadly sins. Ego was the ugliest one. I think that was triple B's. It was ego that was the ugly one, right? The one that was really nasty. Or was it envy? Yeah, it was envy. One of them. Yes, exactly. I know I can't ever trust her, but I miss those fun times. Yeah, he's Northern Irish, completely different from me. There's an old saying that goes, the quickest way to get over someone is to get under someone else. And that's usually what happens. Usually they try to heal themselves in that manner, but all they're doing is prolonging their, you're welcome, prolonging their healing process. I think it's much healthier when you go ahead and go to therapy if you need to, go do some counseling and get rid of all those ruminating thoughts, because your mind during a breakup, it gets stuck in this loop. It's just over. It's like Groundhog Day. You wake up every morning, you think about that person. You go to sleep, you think about that person. And you may have a moment of silence, but then that loop starts all over again. And those are all part of the stages of grieving. If you guys aren't familiar with those stages of grieving, it is 5 stages, which is, I always hated that quote. Yeah, it's a garbage quote, is what it is. It's teaching people to be codependent, is what it is. It's a codependent quote. 5 stages of grieving. It's bargaining, it's denial, it's and these aren't in any particular order. Bargaining, denial, depression, acceptance is the last one. I feel. Actually, no, it's not the last one, because you can accept something, you can accept it, any given time throughout the day, but then go back to the bargaining stage and put it in the chat if you guys know that last one. Bargaining, denial, depression, acceptance, and help me out. 'Tis the season for giving me a break. You have to understand the way they broke up with you to find out the type of person that they were. This is why I tell people not to fight too much, not to argue. If they want to break up with you, give them the opportunity to do what they really want to do. Because denial is the first. I had to leave my office because it's too cold in there, but denial is definitely anger. There it is. Yeah. For some people, anger is the very first one. Like, they'll get angry right away during the stages of grief. And this isn't just about relationships too. It has something to do with human death too, or the loss of anything. You lose your job, you're going to go through those same stages of grief. And that's the one thing I liked about Ram Dass. Just a phenomenal human being. And I think he was like a grief counselor for a long time. And he would teach people how to, or help coach people, or help people heal throughout the stages of grief. And I think one of his favorite quotes of mine is, we're all just walking each other home. Oh, it's powerful. Because we really are. We're on this journey and we're just walking each other home. That's it. We're all part of each other. We're you pushed out, all connected. And I can go all the way down a whole nother rabbit hole on the spirituality side, which you'll get, if you book the coaching, like the depth of what I have to bring to the table it's not just about relationships. It's a transformation that you have to bring yourself through in order to get over breakups, because it's not going to get too deep into that, but work on yourself. Yes, there are random times if intense feelings for my ex, but much further apart. I think she goes through the same thing. Of course, if she's not narcissistic, they can't, because they don't connect to people like that. It's more like, all right, what can you do for me right now in this moment? What needs can you meet for me now? And if you can't, nice knowing you. Get the likes up, please. I got what, 12? I think I might leave this up. I wasn't sure if I was going to leave this live session up, but I don't know. I think this was a good one. I appreciate you guys coming through, especially Black Book, Z, everyone else. Shay, it's been a while. I haven't seen you in a while. Good to see you now. Merry Christmas. My ex broke up with me to be with his coworker. He rebounded, even moved on with her, but he contacts me frequently, almost every week. It's like I can set my watch to this stuff. It's so apparent. There's not much in the human behavior that can change. Once you learn who a certain type of person is, it's all a reflection of you. Like I can't even explain it. It's so in depth. There's not a whole lot of different variables that can change. And I think about when I was coaching football, right? I was coaching football for a couple of years. I played it for 20 years. And one thing I knew, that when I was running routes, because I was a receiver and punt returner, kick returner, I knew where certain people on the field are supposed to be in different type of coverages. When they call a play, and from the snap, I'll see how they move in the coverage. And if one person does one little thing off, I knew that I was either going to be open or that I wasn't going to get thrown the ball, because there's only a certain amount of things that can change, a certain amount of variables that can change in the human psyche too. It's only so much that can be tweaked. Only one I can't really put my finger on 100% are narcissistic people, because I don't understand how they operate. They're not predictable. Certain behaviors are, like the ways that they'll punish you, the ways that they'll come back, and the way that they'll act in the relationship. But sometimes you get those sociopaths and you have no clue what they're going to do. It's just pretty much, you just wash your hands of it. That's one thing too about playing against teams. They weren't disciplined. They'd just be a mess. And you had no clue what was going to happen from the snap of the ball. Like, well, we watched a lot of film footage, but he's never in the right spot, and he's never doing what he's supposed to be doing. And those are the ones we go up and put up 100 points on, because they were unpredictable. They didn't even know what they were going to do. They didn't know what they were doing. So if that analogy makes any sense. But I learned that, though. I learned that from coaching people too. It's just certain variables. Like you know what to do. Once you start to hear certain stories over and over again, I've coached thousands of people now. Once you hear certain stories, you know exactly what's gonna transpire. Like I tell people all the time, like when we enter that first 10 minutes in the meeting, and I'm like, I've read this book before and I know how it's going to end. Do you want me to tell you the ending, or do you want to experience it for yourself? Because I don't want to ruin it for you, but I could save you a lot of grief. And it never fails. I mean, there's certain things that I predicted, like divorces and breakups happen. I see them coming from a mile away just by All right, I know that person's history, and I know what this person doing. Like, I'm not judging you. I'm just calling a spade a spade. I just know where this is going to go. You know, when I first started this, and the reason I started this is because people used to come to me for advice when I didn't even offer it. They just, for some reason, they just thought that I was someone that had the answers. I'm like, bro, my life is a mess. How am I gonna have your answers? Like, well, that's usually how it goes. You teach best what you most need to learn. And sure, you may be able to coach them, but you also got to be able to follow your own advice. And any relationship coach that just getting into the game, if you need advice about that, understand that you're not going to be perfect as a coach. You're not going to be able to follow every single word that you say, especially not right away. It takes discipline. It takes working that muscle over and over again. All right, let me answer these questions. My ex is a fearful avoidant, promising me kids and home. Then she rented flat without me in order not to move into me. That's definitely some type of avoidant. Here's the big difference from a woman that's fell out in love with you and someone that's narcissistic. Narcissistic women don't have any empathy. Right? They just don't. They can't feel that empathy. Like what they tend to do is you ever see the little Spider-Man memes like you, they'll point it all the way back to you. But for people who are avoidant and they have those type of personalities, they can show that empathy. They may sit with you and really grieve their relationship with you. They may not understand why they feel this way. I don't understand why I'm feeling this way. I'm confused. I don't know. I'm so sorry. I don't mean to hurt you. Those are the people who have healthy personalities, but just an insecure attachment. But for the narcissist, no, you're gonna get all the blame. Well, you never did this for me. You never did that. Like, wait a minute. And was I the bad one? Like, no. You were just dealing with someone that wasn't taught that they didn't exercise that empathy muscle very much. Almost 4 months later, I'm doing good. Had moments. You'll always have moments. And I say one thing about men in particular, because I coach so many of them. Triple Bs, you guys know. I think you understand, and you may relate to this too. A lot of men, because I think they coach a lot of men. They struggle after breakups for a really long time. I mean, years. I mean, there's guys that are on their fourth wives and they still haven't properly grieved their first wife. So that fourth wife is getting a fraction of the person that man can really be. I don't know why. I think it's because men, we value that loyalty. I mean, I'm not saying women don't. I don't want to generalize, but I've done this so many times, and it goes back to us being lazy again, and we get used to that familiarity. In the book Think and Grow Rich, he has a chapter about that, about how a man can reach different levels of success when he have a good woman behind him. And I think it has something to do with, it stops us from drifting and going off and doing all these little side missions. If you think about, I used to play GTA, and I used to play Red Dead Redemption, and I think about how I love the main storyline, but because I wasn't disciplined at times, which means if you're thinking about men, like, we'll go out and party and do all this stuff, and we're not on our mission, we're not on our purpose. On the game that I would play, I'll go off and do all these little side missions. I'll see somebody getting hijacked on the side of the road. I'll go help them. Next thing you know, 4 or 5 hours done been blown because I'm doing all these side quests, and I lose sight of the main focus. So when men have a wife or someone that they can come home to, they can focus. They can go out and focus on their mission for the day. Happy holidays, dude. Appreciate you. Brown sugar for the peach cobbler. Isn't that? Don't be going up in there with no flip-flops on either, bro. All right. Thanks for stopping through. Yeah. Once we have that woman, We can go out and do our mission. We can go enjoy life. I mean, just go, stay on our purpose is what I mean. And we know we have that home base to come to, which is why when the men get broken up with, they don't have that home base. Like, they're kind of like disoriented. They get thrown off their axle. And I think that's the main reason why men struggle the most. Oh man, men are struggling after the breakup, years after. Yep. I still get emails from guys that I coached 3 years ago, and they're like, I can't believe my ex did this or did that. And I'm like, wow, you still haven't gotten over her. And I don't know what it is. My battery's dying. This means this was a good session. Should I ever try to reach out to the avoidant if she blocked me? Alexa reminded me to get up and not sit around. Should I ever try to reach out to an avoidant if she blocked me? I didn't follow her on IG out of emotions and told her to take care. Should I reach out again? I think we have a session, right? No, we don't. Okay. Inu, send me an email. So this is 4 sessions I'm giving out. All right. 4 half-hour sessions. I want to hear a little bit more about it. All right. So we can figure it out. It's kind of impersonal and tough to figure it out over this. So let's get it cracking. I'm going to end it because my battery's dying. Thank you for spending your holiday with me. Love y'all. Big time. That's a big heart. Yeah, do that. Thanks for the live. I'm having a spin expert. Thanks, Jack, man. Namaste. I love all y'all from the bottom of my heart. Happy holidays. I hope Santa brought you everything. I hope this was a nice stocking stuffer for you, if you will. I appreciate y'all. All right, so let me wrap it up with this. What is your favorite Christmas dessert? He brought up the peach cobbler. It's been a while. But me, I make a nice little sweet potato pie. I can't do pumpkin pie. Yuck. I'll give y'all time to answer that one, and then I'm gonna end the session. Rum cake. I'm about to Google that one. That sounds good. Yeah. I'm gonna have to check that out. Yeah, sweet potato pie all day, baby. Put a little bit of vanilla bean ice cream on there. What is that? Vanilla? Yeah, vanilla bean. Whew. Fire. All right. Doesn't look like you guys are interested in chatting, and it's all good. Making me hungry. Little taste of the holidays. Wasn't a whole lot, but I hope it helped you guys out. The cash that I sent out, the sessions, I'm sure is going to help you guys out. I mean, I just love to do it. I love y'all.